911, what's your emergency?
I have no money. Seriously, it's an emergency. And it's not funny. Emergency savings is really important for your long-term financial health. And it's not the fun type of savings, like saving for a car or a big vacation. And that's why a lot of people just aren't doing it. Nearly 50% of Americans don't have enough cash in the bank to cover an unexpected expense. And that can do some serious damage to your budget and your long-term financial health. So you want enough cash saved up to cover certain expenses so you don't have to use credit cards and rely on credit. So let's talk about why you need emergency savings, what you use it for, and how to start building it. And you don't have to know everything. You just need a little common sense. So why do you need emergency savings? Life is unpredictable, right? And you can't expect the unexpected. You don't know when your car is going to break down or when you're going to have an unexpected medical bill. Maybe something happens, maybe it's serious, maybe it's not. There's still going to be a pretty big bill for it. And you want to be prepared because how does the phrase go? Happens. And if you're not prepared for it, it's going to do a lot more damage long term than you probably even realize. Things like a car repair, medical bills. You don't want to put them on credit cards. Credit cards typically have really high interest rates. So when you start putting big bills on there that you can't pay off, the interest will start to grow, which increases the balance, and it becomes more and more difficult to pay off. So let's talk about the types of emergency savings and where to put it. When you're preparing for unexpected financial shocks, so stuff that comes up that you just can't afford to pay for, there are two main ways to do it. First, you need a rainy day fund. This is accessible cash that you can dip into every once in a while when you need it. So a medical bill or a small car repair. Just keep it in a savings account or somewhere you can access easily. And the second kind of emergency savings is an emergency fund. So this is enough money saved up to cover at least 3 to 6 months of expenses. So all of your bills, your rent, your mortgage, all the expenses you pay every month, you need at least 3 to 6 months covered that you can pay for in case you lose your job or some other situation where you don't have money coming in. So now let's talk about where to put the money. So for your emergency savings, your rainy day fund and your emergency savings fund, you want to keep it in cash. Not cash on your mattress, but cash in the bank. But you don't want to keep it somewhere where you're tempted to use it, like maybe your checking account. Because in that case, I'm just gonna head to Bloomingdale's, buy a couple things, and I'll pay the money back later. Nope, That will very easily leave you with no emergency savings. So don't keep it somewhere you're tempted to use it. You can keep the cash in a savings account. That's a great way to keep it separate, but in a place that you can easily access. And you can even have 2 separate savings accounts for your rainy day fund and your emergency savings fund. And when you start saving, it may be difficult to get up to that 3 to 6 months or maybe $1,000 for your rainy day fund. So start small. Have money sent automatically to your accounts each month through your direct deposit. Go through your budget and figure out what you can afford to save each month. And then have that money sent automatically to each savings account before you can see it. And then every month, rebudget a little bit and see if you can save more, or every 6 months. And then start increasing it as you can. And then over time, you can build up each of those funds. So how much money should you have for emergency savings? So if your rainy day fund for, the money you dip into for little unexpected expenses, you want around $1,000, or maybe more depending on your situation. For your bigger emergency fund, you want enough cash saved up to cover at least 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. So when you're just starting out to save for that, it can seem like a lot of money, and it is. So how do you even get started? Start by reducing your expenses. Look at the little costs each month, subscriptions and other things that you can combine or reduce or cut out completely. Things that you may not need, or just prioritize them. Look at the things you need, you may not need, and what you can cut, and that'll free up some extra money to go towards savings. Every extra dollar counts. Another way to jumpstart your emergency savings is to make more money. So look at ways you can make money on the side, either after work, online, working from home, or running errands. Picking up a little extra cash on the side can help you build those emergency funds a lot quicker. So we talked about why emergency savings are so important, but there's one crucial thing you have to remember when you're trying to save for an emergency, Don't ignore your debts. If you already have credit card debt or other bills that you owe, make sure you are paying those on time every single month. If you have high credit card bills that you can't quite pay in full right now, try to pay more than the minimums. That'll reduce how much interest you pay over time. A general rule of thumb is for every $2 you put toward debt, put $1 into savings. And then as you start to get your debt down, you can start increasing your savings. For more on emergency savings and how to kickstart your fund, go to clark.com/common sense.